The real heroes are somebody who's making a difference in the world, people who sacrifice themselves for others.
Myself and my partner at the time, Officer Rees, were just on a routine patrol. One night, it was about 3 or 4 in the morning, and at the intersection of Detroit and Phillips, we came upon a car that was engulfed in flames. When we got closer, there was people standing around saying that there was somebody trapped in the car.
You know, we're struggling to get this guy's vehicle's doors open to get him out, and it's either we get him out or we watch him burn to death, you know, and I don't know, it just wasn't an option at that time. There was no way we could do that.
Someone that's selfless, someone that doesn't really think about going out of their way and that, you know, oh, it's just one more thing I have to do.
As I was driving home, I was about halfway home on the east side, and I seen a girl on her bike, and 2 pit bulls jumped the fence and just attacked her and took her off her bike. And I got out of my car, came over with a shovel that I found on a side of the house, and I just hit the one, and the other one came up and bit me in my arm and actually broke my arm.
It's anyone that is willing to go out there and do something beyond the normal.
The important thing to remember for the Air National Guard, we are a traditional guardsman force. We're not all full-time. And as citizen airmen, when called, we respond with ready units to execute our state, federal, and community missions, and we stand ready every day to defend our homeland.
Basically, I would define a hero as somebody who can do something very selfless. And to me, the most selfless thing that anybody could do is give up a part of their own body that they've lived with for how many years, whether it be 25, 50, or even 75 years old, or even a family, to give up a loved one's organs to somebody in order to save their life.
What better way is there to say I love you than to say I'm willing to risk my life for you? And that's essentially what Living Kidneys donors are doing.
I consider Jim, my donor, a hero now because now he gave me a new life that I don't have to revolve around dialysis, and I can pretty much do whatever I want, eat what I want, go wherever I want, and not have to worry about being tied to a machine 3 days a week.
Dialysis is tough. Essentially, you have to be hooked up to a machine that cleans out your blood for 4 hours at a time. And you have to do that 3 times a week. And the average person who gets dialysis has about 20% of normal kidney function, which is enough to keep you alive, but it's not necessarily enough to keep you feeling well.
The main part is when they poke the needles in. Those are it hurts a lot when they poke 2 needles into your leg, your graft, and it takes my treatment is 3 hours every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm there for about 4 hours because of all the needle poking, and sometimes you get poked more than once, and it's a big toll. Someone compared it to running a marathon on your heart, so you're very tired afterwards, and all you want to do is sleep and do nothing after dialysis.
The Alliance for Paired Donation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that was set up to help people who have somebody that wants to give them a living kidney, but it turns out that they're not compatible. They have the wrong blood type, or they may have antibodies against them. It helps people like that find other people who are in the same situation so that they can either swap kidneys or create what we call pay-it-forward chains of transplants. Courtney came to us to get her second kidney transplant. Unfortunately, the disease that she had that caused her kidney failure in the first place came back in her first kidney transplant. James Canary came forward as a donor for somebody at the University of Michigan. Turns out to be his brother-in-law, Jim, who was fortunate to receive a kidney from somebody that lived in Colorado.
Well, I'm just thinking about the change in my brother-in-law's life, as well as Courtney's. The other day my brother-in-law was telling me that he was planning to travel when he retired, and he wouldn't be doing that without a kidney. And Courtney has hopefully a long life ahead of her, and I'm delighted that she's going to benefit.
I just can't believe somebody would do this that don't even know me and would donate to me, and it was just unreal. He's like an angel that would do this for me.
You know, the reality is that, you know, of course there's a strong gift here, but it's not as heroic as some of my family members think.
I first heard about the Alliance for Paired Donation through a friend. I was trying to help his daughter, who was on I believe a second or a third transplant.
When she was found to match with someone else, rather than just walk away, Tracy said, "I wonder if I could help somebody else."
He told me that I could be an altruistic donor, which at the time I had no idea what that meant. And that means that I can donate a kidney to someone else that needs one, that has a donor, but their donor doesn't match them. So I donate to them, and then their donor then turns around and donates to someone else that's in the same exact situation.
When somebody comes forward like that and they recognize that every day in America 12 people are dying and they want to make a difference to that, what we can do is take somebody like that and create a chain of transplants. And so what we can do then is Tracy would give his kidney to somebody, and then the somebody that he gave his kidney to would have somebody who wanted to give to their loved one but was unable to, and instead they would pay forward the gift that Tracy gave to them. The challenge doesn't end though with the kidney transplant. The challenge continues in that we have to maintain the transplant. And fortunately that we're able to do that now with medications that stop the immune system from trying to destroy the kidney, because the immune system recognizes that kidney as an invader that's not supposed to be there.
I would see patients on a regular basis in the clinic that would come to me crying that could not afford their medications or their 20% copay. And you know, they were either making the choice not to pay their rent or put food on the table, or making the choice to give up their transplanted organ, their new lease on life, to go back on dialysis so they could afford a roof over their children's head. And it just got to me that this is not the way it should be.
So it's like people don't realize after you have a transplant that a lot of your insurance benefits are taken away from the state. So it puts a real burden on what to do if you don't have the money to pay for your Medicare or your medical expenses and your prescription drugs.
Angie was on dialysis for 11 years. She's a young, beautiful, vibrant woman that can have life at her fingertips. And we asked her if she'd be interested in going back to college and what would she want to do. And she kind of lit up and she's like, wow, you know, I've always kind of wanted to do that. You know, put that probe over a mother's belly and be an ultrasound tech. And I'm like, you know, Angie, you can do anything you want.
The OP program has, well, first of all, they got me into school, and they do help me financially if I need anything. They try to. I do have grants that pay for some things, and if I need anything, my books paid for or my classes paid for, they pay that for me.
So far, what OPT has done for me is the financial aid that Susan has given me. And I know I was asking a lot from my parents when I asked them if I could go to Michigan State University. The tuition bill was piling up, and Susan said she could help me out in any way. And to my family, it was like the biggest relief in the world. It wasn't small at all. Like, that's money from student loans that I will never have to worry about in my life. And that's something that is huge, because having enough stresses in my life, worrying about taking medication, worry about staying healthy and drinking water and going to the doctor and things like that, those are all things I worry about on a daily basis. And to have another thing on my list to worry about, such as student loans, is just like mind-blowing. So for her to make that list smaller and let me live a more stress-free life is the biggest gift ever.
Anybody can be a hero. You just have to be selfless, and you have to be caring, and you have to think about others.
I wouldn't characterize what we did as heroic. I think that somebody that does it and isn't expected to do it is the real hero.
I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, I'm just doing my job, and I do what's asked of me, and this is a place I want to be, and this is something that I want to do.
I know going into work tonight, the possibilities, you know, of not coming home or what could happen.
A hero is someone that puts herself in harm's way without realizing it until after the fact. Someone that just goes in and it's just no thought, just whatever needs to be done for someone that's in danger is done, if they come out alive or not.
It makes me feel great that somebody thinks of me as a hero, but that's not really what I'm about. I'm just about helping others, passing the word along. If you want to be a hero, that's great too, because there are a lot of people out there that need them.
Well, tonight we're talking about heroes. And one way to be a hero is to do something heroic. But you know, there's another way to be a hero. You could be a hero by helping somebody else to become a hero.
You don't have to donate an organ to become a hero. You don't have to be a financial contributor. Not everybody can afford it. Not everybody can be an organ donor, but everybody can be a hero in their own sense.
It's those people in the background who can facilitate somebody becoming a hero, who in a sense are a hero themselves by helping others become heroes. And that's something that somebody could do with the Alliance for Paired Donation. The Alliance for Paired Donation doesn't just happen out of thin air. It happens because there are dedicated people who do this as their full-time job. And so we need to raise money to help those people be able to do that job. And so your gifts help us to help others.